So now we're going to talk about side control escapes, which we're only going to go over a couple because I don't want to overwhelm you. When you notice that my defenses are a lot more basic than my offenses, and because when you kind of get pinned, it's hard to breathe, there's a lot of weight and pressure on you, you should only have 1 or 2 options to like just automatically go towards so you don't panic. You get there, you know exactly what you want to do, you know what's going to come next, and you're going to start, you know, advancing towards what you want, rather than thinking like, what do I do now? Which tool is used for this? And start freaking out. Let's just focus on 1 or 2. The reason I like 2 is because I go back and forth between the 2, but depending on what they're doing, until I get what I want. Okay? So, you ready?
What do you think that is?
It's the sheet metal. You know what I'm talking about? Like the overhang. Right there.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, set for me. So when he's got side control, and now I'm dealing with this, like we talked about, it's best to keep your arms in. Okay, elbows in, and I go for praying mantis arms. I try praying mantis arm on the shoulder and praying mantis arm on the hip like this. I like praying mantis arms is because my body will follow, while at the same time I'm not pushing with my hand so he can hurt my wrist and take advantage of certain things. And I don't have enough room for the fist right now, but I also don't like the fist because it's not a very big target or a very big platform to push against them. So I create this praying mantis arm so I don't extend my arms away from him too much to start getting submissions, while at the same time I'm still very strong against my frames and I'm hooking his hip right here. Same thing with his neck. I can start using my elbow to get him away from me. Okay, praying mantis arms. Now it's a lot more difficult for him right now to reach up and start grabbing this to get like an Americana or something. Okay? So, praying mantis arms. And even if he's got a good crossface right here, boom, I praying mantis arm on his neck right here, alleviating a little bit of pressure. I plant my feet in the mat, and I shrimp my butt away from him, and now I have access to get my knee in here. Okay? And what I really like about this is even on the bottom, I can attack the far side arm right here, and I can attack the bottom side arm with an arm bar. And we'll go into that in a second. But that's my primary way of getting out of side control, and it works for me frequently. Okay, so I get right here, I frame against him, and it's not so much moving him away from me, but keeping him here, preventing him from advancing as I move my body away from him, just enough to get my knee in here. And now if he starts to go to guard block or whatever, stop this, I can use this to take his back, or I can just start attacking that arm. So again, but now let's go ahead and get my head on this side. Let's scooch that way. All right. So first and foremost, this is why people like over-exacerbate frames, because they're so powerful. I frame with the praying mantis arms, I shrimp my butt away from him, and I get my knee in here. All right. Now I can start working towards my closed guard, half guard, butterfly guard, whatever I need to do from here. Okay? One more time. This is just traditional frames and shrimp. All right, now let's talk. Let's move that way. That's one of my number one things to do. Now let's talk about when my arms get trapped underneath. If my arm either gets stuck right here, right, this might not be the best thing to push up and shrimp out. I might be kind of stuck right here. And so instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to get my arm underneath him, right here, like getting this underhook. I'm going to oompa my entire body. I'm going to oompa. I'm going to start getting up on top of him. Okay? So without you real quick. So I'm right here. I'm going to oompa. I'm going to use my hips against my elbow. Boom. And push him off of me. Okay? So regardless of this arm is underneath or this arm is underneath, all right, I'm going to use my legs to press. I'm going to oompa. If this arm is underneath, I'm pushing him that way. If this arm is underneath, I'm pushing him that way, all right? So like the opposite corner, okay? Or towards the shoulder of the arm that you're not oompaing with, right? So if my arm's trapped underneath here, I'm gonna oompa that way, all right? If my arm's trapped underneath here, I'm gonna oompa that way. So I'm gonna start getting out. And we're gonna start seeing a lot of fancy submissions that you can even do from here, where you're stuck underneath here, and you kind of oompa, and you walk right in to a darce right here. But the fact is you're just using your hips to be more powerful than their upper body, and you're using your arm to create that angle to finish, okay? And now, if both of your arms are stuck underneath, you just got to oompa him enough to start getting your legs back in the picture. So a lot of the time, I won't be able to oompa him all the way off me, but I have enough to start getting my guard back in. So if both arms are trapped, I go oompa right here, and now I can start getting my knee back in here. Okay? So, just to recap. Is if I can create frames, I'm going to frame, I'm going to stop him from following me, I'm going to shrimp out, get my knee back in. So if my arms are trapped, one or two, I'm going to plant my feet against the ground. I'm going to use the power of the ground to push my hips up through and throw his hips off of me, either enough to get on top of him or at least re-engage my guard, get my legs back towards him, and force him to fight through my legs once again.